Hello there, fellow members of this barony. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to City Tales Medieval Era. Episode 6, Striving Towards a Castle and a Feast. So for reference, the castle requires 500 coin. Coin you can see in the top right pretty clearly. I'm at 177. So let's do all that we can to try to get the 500. I could do a mix of upgrading to manors, and also let's do another district. So while we're waiting on the materials for the manors, a district here will have a lot of the required amenities. And this can be a district primarily just for population to try to absolutely maximize on how many taxpayers we have. So just a hell of a lot of people in here. So this district is missing all but trade. Forgetting education. I'm not too worried about education. So let's put a tier 2 square market in there. And then 8 of the 10 plots. 2 of the plots will be a market square, and the other 8 will be just houses. So because I have this new district completely supported with services, and I've got a good stockpile of food, you'll see how quick my my coin goes up. Because we have so much of the required necessities already. So what was I at, like 120 when I pointed out that we needed coin for the castle, something like that? It is flying up now. And we also have a little over 2/3 of our apple pies for the king's feast. Looking good. You saw 216 around that time? I think it was in the ones. But yeah, as you can see, it's easy to raise coin as you raise pop. The trouble is to support the new pop with services, but luckily I had planned ahead and knew that this plot here was going to be provided with everything it needs to become cottages or townhouses immediately. That's why it's already 3, 3, 3, 3, 2, 2, or 1, and other houses are going to be moving in a minute too. My bottleneck at the moment for manors is clothing. Oh, there we go. Feast for Kings. So let's pause the game for a second. Great work, Your Majesty. To be honest, I hadn't expected you to give my request quite so much attention. But it's not over yet. We still need to work on our whatever that is. Plat de resistance or something, as they say. We'll cook some cormary, a dish made of pork and wine. Do you think you could get the ingredients for us, Your Highness? Quest completed. So, pig farms, butchery, an inn, a vineyard, and a wine press. The plan right now, my next thing I want to do is Castle on the Hill. I want to get a castle first, right? Like if we're going to entertain a guest, putting up in a castle is going to be pretty baller. So I'm going to pivot my primary goal and work on the castle on the hill. Cheers. And then once the castle's built, I'll backpedal and work towards supplying what we need for the cormary. So that, just so that you know in advance, The inn, which is what cooks it, right? Where's the meals? Here it is. The inn is what cooks it, and that requires wine from an orchard and sausages from... So it's a vineyard for grapes, and the wine press for wine, a pig farm for pork, and the butchery for sausages all goes into the inn for the cormary. So that's the production chain for that once we get our castle. And a coin for the castle is coming in quick. Oh, great. Thank you for the sub. Welcome to the stream. Okay, so it's all townhouses now in the new district that we just built. And some of these places can actually become full-on manors too, as long as they don't require education. The other thing I wanted to do is to put someone back into clothing, because clothing is honestly our bottleneck. So a greatest craftsman would be Crimson. So I'll take Crimson off of the tannery.
Okay.
And back into clothing. Because our leather for the tannery is breaking even anyway. It doesn't really matter. And I'm 5 coins away. Hot damn, that was fast. Townhouse to a manor, and that should be all the coins. Now, I don't want to build the castle immediately when I get the coin, the bare minimum of coins, because the problem with that is I won't necessarily have coins for any of the other infrastructure needed soon. So I want to build a little bit of a slush fund of, let's say, like 50 to 75 coins before I build the castle. But we're about to be able to. Oh, so that is French for the main dish. What's funny is here in America, entree means the main dish, which is stupid because entree is the entrance, right? It's supposed to be your appetizer. So we bastardized entree in a bad way because entree is supposed to be your appetizer, and your appetizer is not even supposed to be a thing. I don't know. English got weird due to the fact that it was unmanaged language for a long, long time. Unmanaged because the British Parliament spoke French, and English was the language of the peasants. And then, due to Norman invasions and a whole bunch of other bastardization and stealing loan words and the like, English is a weird language as a result. Dessert first? That sounds good to me. I'll go dessert first. Hell yeah. So we'll try to get up our coins, let's say to 550 before we commit to a castle. Yeah, language is weird, period. True. Some languages don't change very much over time, like, let's say, Finnish or Icelandic. Icelandic would be a really good one, right? I don't think Icelandic has changed significantly for like 1,000 years. And then some languages change constantly and become harder and harder to understand. Like, I barely speak the language that the Gen Alpha and Gen Zs speak nowadays. I don't know half their terms, and that's fine. Cool. I did that to my parents, and they're gonna do that to me. Works for me. Alright, quick analysis. Planks are in a net negative, but not a dangerous net negative. With that said, planks are a backbone of upgrading 1 to 2, 2 to 3. So being in a net negative is a problem. The thing is, I am in a net negative because of the second carpenter workshop I built. So what I can do is I can pause that, put Pedersk back to the original one.
Yes?
Now that my need for wooden beams are not so great. That way it's not a deficit I need to immediately address. The other thing is nobody at the moment needs apple pies. Like my pastry shop, not needed. So I can pause that.
As you say.
Take Dawn Break out of that. And with that said, because nobody at the moment is consuming apple pies, I also don't need the second apple orchard. Which means I can leave it running because it's not like taking up people because it's already automated, but I can take Joker out of that. And then the people I just pulled out of production, I can put into anywhere that is not as productive as it needs to be. So, wheat.
Yes.
I can put Dawnbreak and Joker back into.
Yes.
And then wheat will start picking back up. But I'm sure I'm going to tap them soon for the cormary from the end. But, like, I can wait for that. All right, back to what I was doing. I am at 561 coin, so castle. I want a castle on the hill. Why? I don't know, but I do. So I'm building the castle way up there to look down on everybody. But to keep them protected, right? Keep me safe from trebuchets. That's totally why. Or maybe it's so that I can throw oak seeds and see how far they flutter all the way down. Like little helicopters. So finally getting that wonderful castle on the hill. Oh damn! Look at that thing! Looks pretty good. A castle, my liege. We've built a castle with stone walls and towers and rooms for everyone, and a yard and a ballroom and a kitchen the size of... Apologies, my liege. I'm so excited. I just can't hide it. Who would have thought we would, when we first arrived, a castle? There's still much to be done, my liege, and so many new things to discover. I have a feeling that this is only the beginning. There we go. We got ourselves the castle. So now, back to the cormary. I'm not going to be able to transition any of these houses from what they were previously doing to cormary stuff, because if I did that, I would lose coin. So instead, what I want to do is let's first source the pork. I'm going to put my pig ranch, because, you know, I used to live in the state that had the most pig ranches, and that stuff stinks. So I'm going to put my pig ranch way out here where we don't have to smell it. And I need to shrink this because of the amount of tiles it's requiring. I don't need a pig ranch. Actually, I made this way bigger than it needs to be. So let's make it a little bit more modest. Let's say 4. There we go. So I just need a few more tiles for that, and we'll get that going. Before I commit to that, let's put Pedersk into the tilery, because we need more tiles than we need wooden beams. Plus, I can always unpause the other wooden beams production facility if I ever need more wooden beams anyway. I can spin one up to be doubled, but I can't spin up my tilery to be doubled because I don't have 2 tileries. I mean, I could build it, but I would have to displace a house, which I don't want to do. Is there a better place for this butchery? This pig farm? Maybe over here. Yeah. This spot looks good. The other thing you might have been able to tell is these manors, to be able to upgrade, would need cormary. So a feast for the kings is also a feast for my manor lords. 2. And then this pig farm is going to need a butchery built into it. It looks like maybe I ought to get a second tilery. So I think what I'll do is I'm going to start to upgrade some of these more of these townhouses to be afford the coin to be able to displace one of these people for a second tilery. Because everything is going to require an immense amount of tiles in a minute. So I'll put that out here. I'll put Petersk in charge of it. Pig farm lacks workforce. Dawnbreak, this is you.
It will be done.
And the second tilery will be
Yes.
Petersk. Now that we have the pig farm, the butchery turns the pork into the sausages that we need for the cormary. So once I get 25 tiles, we'll get that up in this fallow field spot. But yeah, doesn't that look smelly? Ugh. Alright, and then of course the other half of this is the vineyard. And I'm going to have the vineyard up near the castle. Yeah, I could have done it the inverse, but I am the lord of the castle, and I'd rather smell grapes than pigs. So, kind of like blood and wine. But yeah, there's our lovely castle, or our lovely vineyard. Maybe I'll have it be a little bit larger. Bring it up to a 5. So putting the vineyard on the hill. Truth be told, I think a lot of the grapes that are needed for vineyards need to be in kind of like aerated rocky soil. So up on a rocky hill might make even sense geographically. Not that the game cares. And there's the butchery for the sausages. You heard grapes grown at higher altitude taste better? I mean, I have no idea. I'm not a wine grower or vintner or anything like that. But I just wanted my castle to have a nice vineyard next to it, I guess. Thought it would look nice. And I'll probably end up putting, once this is built, I'll drop Joker into it. I'm not sure who's going to run the vineyard, though. I don't really have a lot of free companions. Maybe Lewin? Pull him out of the bakery. And to be able to bankroll that, because of course I'm down to almost no coin, we need to continually upgrade the townhouses to manors and have the new manor lords pay higher taxes to be able to afford the whole thing. Alright, vineyard time. Yeah, let's make it... Actually, I'm going to put Joker in here. Yes. And Lewin in the butchery. Because Lewin has...
Certainly.
Yeah, there we go. So the other thing we need over here is the wine press. And then all of the prerequisite materials for the inn will be procured. So then the last piece of this is to drop an inn somewhere where we have a pharmacy, a tier 2 pharmacy, which we do not have yet. So then the last piece of this is to go over to our towns and go to a pharmacy and upgrade the pharmacy to a clinic, because we can't have an inn without a clinic. So I'll probably end up putting the clinic here and then the inn displacing one of these houses over here. But before we do that, we need to keep the coin flow going because I don't have the coins to support a clinic yet. All right, wine press. We'll go to Arthur.
Okay.
All right, looks good. So the pork ranch supplies the sausages. As you can see, a net gain of 0.33, so it's just enough to support the sausages that we have. And then the wine, the grapes rather, is enough to support the wine press. Absolutely. As the wine press becomes a little bit more efficient, it will even out a little bit. But basically, it's nearly a 1-to-1, is what I wanted to point out. So now we're saving up for this clinic. Oh, and I have everything I need. The pharmacy going to a clinic. Is that... So let's actually decide... So here's our clinics. We have a clinic here. And a clinic here. And a clinic here. I'm going to have this clinic go up. I feel like this clinic... No. Well, so my thought process is I'm trying to pick the clinic that covers the most amount of houses so that it can benefit the manors raising up a tier. And I think probably this clinic covers the most houses. So I'll make this clinic my, or this pharmacy my clinic. What that means is one of these houses back here is going to have to become the inn. And I'll also need a little bit more coin for that. So we'll have to upgrade some more townhouses for the coin. Nope, no, that manor helped. So here is the Tier 2 clinic. Our first Tier 2 clinic. And that is a requirement of the inn. So there's the inn. Gonna make the cormary. Now some of these manors, like this one that I just clicked on, has a requirement of being in range of a clinic. So actually, this manor might be one of the first manors to go to Tier 5. Because as I supply wine, boards, mortar, tiles, leather rope, a church, and a clinic, I'll be able to upgrade it. But let's go ahead and put someone in charge of the inn. Someone good at food. Maybe turtle sandwich? Turtle sandwich making sandwiches. Well, that's not sandwiches, but we can imagine. Sausage and wine sandwiches. And we're starting to get the cormary built up for the Feast for Kings delivery. Unfortunately, my wine is now like a net neutral, so I'm not building up any more wine in order to upgrade manors. But some of the manors don't require wine, they require cormary, but I'm not going to consume the cormary until I fulfill the Feast for Kings. And then some of these houses should require sausage too. Or like this manor, for instance, requires apple pie, which we do have enough apple pie. I did pause my apple pie production But what it can do is I can unpause it now that we're hypothetically working our way towards a mannery. Or mannery. A manor upgrade. These manors require an upgraded market hall, which I don't yet have access to because it's story progress. So I'm not going to be able to do that until I get Feast for Kings fulfillment. Basically, I'm looking around to see... And then some of them require an upgraded school, which again is story progress. So I'm not really sure which manor is going to be able to go up a tier first, but I am keeping my eyes open looking for which one that might be. One thing I could do is, in order to get more grapes, to get a second vineyard. Because basically all the grapes are becoming wine here, but there is demand for grapes that aren't wine for some of these housing upgrades. Oh no, they all require wine. It's the cormary that is consuming them all. Which is interesting, because wine as an intermediary before cormary still has a demand. So yeah, I am probably going to want to get another vineyard. Thankfully, there's plenty of space right here for another vineyard. And this one doesn't need to be quite as large as the original one. I thought it'd be larger than a 2, though. Come on. You're a 3, and you know it. Maybe I won't put it here if it's only a 2. I wonder how much I can encroach on these berries. Oh, it's a 3 if I go like that. Let's do it. All right, there we go. So we got a second vineyard, and we'll get a second wine press, and now we have all of the cormary for the Feast for Kings. Fantastic work, my liege, and thank you, Dawnbreak. You've done a great job too. I should be the one thanking you for giving me this opportunity and putting your trust in me. I'll keep working hard until our guest arrives to make sure the banquet is nothing short of perfect. She really seems like a different person when it comes to food, don't you think, my liege? Thanks to our companions, I'm certain this banquet will be a resounding success. But our work isn't over yet. There is much more to our culture than just food. I was really Oh, here we go. Now, liege, some of our people have come to me with wonderful idea to welcome Lord Poliak Doroy. They spoke of old festivities from their hometown and how they missed them. In the early days of spring, folks would parade through the streets in costume, chanting and acting out folk tales, while others would pray for good harvest and fair weather. Let us not forget, my liege, our city is nothing without its people, and their culture is something to be cherished. So I say, let's recreate these springtime festivities. It may not be the right season, but I'm sure it will bring joy to the people regardless, and impress the Baron. I believe the first step is to build the stage across the city that will serve as stops along the parade route, where the performances will take place. So, have 5 theaters. That's a lot of theaters. Before we do that, I would really, as a capstone to this stream, I would like to get the manors upgraded for the first time.
Okay.
So I'm working on getting the wine, and I know I have some cormary. So any of these manors that look upgradable, I'm gonna jump on that opportunity when it arises to get them up to 5. Because we're getting awfully close. Now, the issue with the 5 theaters is, like, because of the efficient way I've laid out my city, as you can see, I have absolutely no need for 2 more theaters. So I could build them, like build a theater here, and maybe build a theater here, planning for future population growth, but, like, my people don't need it. The quest does.
Okay.
Which is fine. It's just going to be theaters that are expensive and provide no benefit to people. So we're becoming a bit like New Orleans or something. New Orleans being a city that has a lot of entertainment, much more than the population would require, which is why it is a tourist destination. Sorry if you're from Louisiana and you disagree. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like... Or Vegas. Vegas is another, has a lot of theaters more than the... Or Broadway has a lot more theaters than the local population would ever require. And they're becoming a tourist destination. Okay. I still think, like, some of these manors may be the first to hit. Like this one will be the first to hit tier 5. So far I've always paired health and entertainment together, because they're like the tier 1 services would be well, market, faith, and I haven't paired those together because I feel like as far as Venn diagram bubbles, it makes sense to have all, like, each district have one of each overlapping with one another for a greater radius effect. So if I am going to build new theaters, I'll probably end up building new pharmacies paired with them, just the way I did before. And to that end, I need a lot more coin to support it, because 66 coin is probably not going to be enough for all of that. Oh, I'm 1 wine away. Here it is. So the first one to be upgraded will be this house here. There we go. It's happening. Getting our first mansion. Just making sure my resources are. So clay is on the decline, but not steep. Everything else is fine. So we have 66 coins, and at the upgrade of a mansion, we'll see how much we jump. Or 88 now. Up to 126. Boom. Look at that in the middle of town. That is a honkin' building. Gilded and everything. Honestly, I think it's more grand than our castle. I'm a little jelly if I do say so myself. Well, there you go. The top tier mansion supports 25 people, and it doesn't get any upgraded than that. So, in the very little time I have remaining, let's do a quick district for theaters to fulfill the quest requirement. So I'm going to build kind of like a micro district here that is a size 4 for a theater and a pharmacy, like we did before. And this isn't supporting any houses, so I don't need it. It doesn't matter what other benefits it has with it. It just needs to be 4. There it goes. And this is going to have a theater. And then on the other side, let's put it over here. We'll do the same sort of design. Just a size 4. For a theater. There we go. Done. The castle looks bland. It's well, to be fair, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's somewhat procedurally generated based upon the region. And I'm sure there's like, I think in the roadmap there's plans for more stuff to be added. Yeah, the mansions look very highly detailed comparatively. I kind of want to get another mansion so that we can compare and contrast, because just having the one of them doesn't really give you an idea of what the design ultimately looks like in terms of procedural generation. Now that the parade route is settled, we should start working on the costumes. Though I must admit, this may be far from my forte as it gets. So I've reluctantly asked Turtle Sand for help. They seemed very enthusiastic about the whole project. Hey there, friend. Your advisor has told me all about the parade. What a brilliant idea. I can already picture the smiles on everyone's faces. If we want everyone to join in costume, we'll need to help from all the tailors in the city. And even then, they'll have to work fast and smart. It's a lot of work, so we'll need real experts to pull it off. We need a quest completed, so have a expert level tailor shop already done, and we've unlocked a private school as a result. Let's go ahead and upgrade our school to a private school. We only have one school, so now our only school is going to become a private school. And we already have an expert tailor shop, so that requirement is already done, which is great. So here's a private school. And that's going to support a lot more of the houses around the center that have school as a requirement for tier 2, like this one. This manor needs a school, and now it's being supplied. Great job, friend. Our tailors are ready. It's time to get to work. Townsfolk want a costume. Can order one from the tailors, but the actors and dancers, they'll need the best they got. The whole parade rests on their shoulders after all. I'm so excited. This reminds me of the time your father brought the troupe of acrobats, musicians, and troubadours to the capital. How old were you back then? 5, maybe 6? Those were the days, huh? And here's to many more. So deliver 45 clothing is the next task. So I'm going to stop upgrading manors so that we can afford that. But I am eager to get our second mansion. And I'll put it in this district. So this will be the mansion. Well, actually, maybe one mansion per district. So I'll put a mansion over here. Trying to spread out the mansions, you know? So they don't have to keep up with the Joneses or whatever. And because I'm so close to fulfilling the set the stage, I'll keep going a little bit further. Slightly over the uptime. That's mansion number 2. I'd also like to find a manor that needs to become a mansion with cormary, because I've got 74 cormary and 1 wine, so I have plenty of cormary for another mansion. Because this one requires apple pies, and I also have tons and tons of apple pies, but the ones that require cormary and apple pies need fountains, which I don't have. Oh, here's no, that's a townhouse. Never mind. I guess the only ones that will be upgraded are upgraded with wine. Hypothetically, I could pause, make the cormary so we have more wine, but I don't think I'm going to artificially modify it in that way. So here's the other mansion. And they're both overlooking the center university. I like it. So we're 6 clothing away from being able to deliver from the tailor. So thanks to Crimson for getting that done. And Snarf, thank you for the resub. Friend, you have to come see these costumes. They're stunning. The actors look incredible in them. It's all really coming together. Still, something's bothering me a little. I was talking about our plans with the parade, for the parade with Crimson, who's made a really good point. Save you, my liege. Turtle Sand's excitement got me curious about the parade of yours, and I was wondering, innocently of course, how exactly do you plan to pay your actors and dancers for their work? I'm not even talking about the tailors who made the costumes, or the kitchen staff preparing the food we'll serve. Don't get me wrong, we're a friendly bunch, but this is starting to feel a bit like taking advantage of everyone's goodwill, wouldn't you agree? That's why I believe we ought to give back something to everyone involved, from the wheat farmers to your advisor, and yes, even to Turtle Sandwich and myself. Deliver gold. See, my liege, doesn't it feel good to give back to the people? There are plenty of stories about it, you know? Stories about rich lords getting robbed by bandits with hearts of gold, only for their wealth to be shared amongst the poor. Maybe we'll even see one of those tales played out during the parade. Trust me, there's no better way to get people laughing and dancing in the streets. Maybe, maybe there is. Alcohol is a staple of festivals like these. Wine and cider, let them flow. Let's make this a day to remember. And honestly, it'd be rather sad if our guests had nothing but water to drink. Doesn't that feel, that doesn't feel very lordly now, does it? So deliver wine and cider. I have a ton of cider. I just need a little bit more wine. So I am, after all, going to pause the cormary and dismiss Turtle Sandwich from it and put Turtle Sandwich in the wine press instead. So we accelerate wine. So some resources, like the milk, I obviously had too many cow plots. I mean, I could destroy and recover some of it, but at this point, like, the resources are invested. Who really cares? But looking at the other resources here, I don't have a really good balance of stone. I have so much net gain stone. But it probably doesn't make sense to get rid of a stone mine. There we go. And there you have it, my liege, a festival like no other. One to rival even the feasts of your father's capital. Thank you kindly for your help, Crimson. I didn't expect you to put so much heart into all of this. Oh, you know, I'm just a man of the people, is all. And that's left now. All that's left now is to await for the arrival of Lord Polek Doroy. Well done, my liege, and now you can be proud of what we've accomplished. And let's hope for the best. Unlocked the Fountain and Mountain Hall, Market Hall, which is the last two major upgrades to the services that are required for the mansions. But, friends, this is where I am going to leave off instead. Thank you for tuning in to City Tales Medieval Era, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, everybody.